Joey, let's go. Let's start with you, buddy. What was your chef kiss for this week?
So my chef's kiss for this week, and we've done where like a person, Jeff Jarrett, for instance, has had a great week. He didn't have a great week this week, though, unfortunately. Um, but Toxic Attraction, in my opinion, had an excellent overall week. All three members specifically. We mentioned earlier about the women, JC Jane and Gigi Dolan, getting that final spot, that NXT representation in the tag title slot. And the Montreal crowd was great all night. And these two ladies, in probably the biggest crowd that they've wrestled in front of, to my knowledge, they're pretty young in the business too. They walked out there with the swagger and confidence during their entrance like they've been in front of these crowds their whole life. NXT crowds are pretty small, maybe about the same size as the Impact crowd we were at last week. And these girls didn't lose a step. There was one minor botch by Gigi during the match that Sonya helped cover up. But besides that, they owned it. JC Jane especially was just doing great character work, ended up winning. Their facials were excellent. Everything about these two girls during that match, they did not look like rookies out there, in my opinion. And the fact that that was their first big TV match, big chef's kiss to that. Mandy Rose. Specifically, I thought that this was her best match I've ever seen from her. And there was minimal interference. Like the other two girls were kicked out pretty early on in that match. And Bob or others can jump in. I don't know if I've seen a finish involve this before. We've seen the classic where it's been, somebody has brass knuckles and the other guy gets it and boom, big punch. But I've never seen it with a knee brace before, where somebody's knee brace is used against them later on by somebody. JT, hop in if you've seen that before.
Yeah,
I don't think I have.
During the Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano feud, right?
But I know the crutch was a big one for that. Did Johnny put on Ciampa's knee brace at one point?
You guys remember? So like 5 years ago.
The crutch was a big thing, but I don't know if the knee brace was used by Johnny per se, like on his knee.
Joey, I have this weird memory. I feel like JT's on I feel like it was the brace that he used.
It wouldn't shock me. It wouldn't shock me. But I mean, 5 years, though, is the earliest we can think of. And so for the ladies to pull this out, and Zoe sold the hell out of that shot at the end to lose the match. So great job by all three girls in pretty prime position. So I'm happy that they're getting that shine. Bob, what about you?
Well, Joey, actually, I'm going to keep it with the NXT theme this week, guys. NXT had a theme show this week. It was NXT Heatwave. Heatwave, a pay-per-view theme or a theme itself that we've seen in the past with the ECW moniker. And this week's opening intro had Paul Heyman voicing it. And I just thought, man, that's awesome. You brought back Paul Heyman to voice the opening intro to a pay-per-view that he used to run every year. And he's putting over the young talent. So that was my chef kiss of the week, having Paul come in, do the voice for the opening package for NXT Heatwave. We also have a combo this week. And Joey, what's our combo for this week? It involves the tag team, right?
Kind of a good follow-up from the prior week where we're advocating for more tag teams. We had the tag team girls earlier. The Miz and Ciampa match against Cedric and Mustafa Ali.
Yeah.
I thought this was an excellent match, and the chemistry between these guys, which maybe Miz and Ciampa have been teaming on the house circuit reels, I don't know. But for their first televised match, I thought that this was excellent. All four guys, Cedric and Ali, I don't know if they've been teaming maybe on main event, but for the first big time teaming for both sides, they did really good. And we've been talking about one of the bulls for the tag team division. You don't do it with Hit Row. You do it with these guys specifically. That's just my perspective. I thought they did a great job. Ciampa with the low drop kicks multiple times during the match. And Miz has always done better when he's had a partner, somebody to play off of. Morrison, the B team, Maurice, even his wife. And so Ciampa to be able to get this out of Miz, who's normally a pretty, I'd say only passable wrestler, to get more out of him. The tag team division, I think, is coming into potentially a new renaissance with these teams and the added emphasis on championships. It's been the singles mid-card titles. Let's get those tag titles some shine and hopefully break them apart. Bob, what do you have to add on to that?
I absolutely agree with you, Joey. I thought guys, we got to see Mustafa Ali and Cedric, two guys that we don't really see. I mean, they kind of pushed Mustafa a couple months back, but that was because, hey, he was coming to his hometown, and I just feel like WWE was kind of giving him a bone. But now that Vince is out of the picture, Triple H is in, he's going to go ahead and he's going to put Ali and Cedric on TV, which is great. I'm happy to see the pairing. Not only that, they've been great on, I remember back in the day when they were on 205 Live. I caught a couple episodes, and man, those boys were turning it up. So happy to see them on TV. They look happy now. They don't look just like, oh, we're going through the motion. They look happy. The Miz and Ciampa, it's a weird teaming, but maybe it's character development for Ciampa. That's just how I'm looking at it. It's weird. I would prefer if Johnny would come in, but Triple H would have to throw in some money for Johnny to come in. So we'll see. But again, at least it's a tag team, and they look like a tag team. They got the uniforms. Again, one thing that I've brought in the past, like these guys gotta look more like a tag team. At least the Miz and Ciampa look like a tag team. And the women's tag tournament, again, I wasn't too optimistic about it, but this week with Asuka and Alexa Bliss against Doudrop and Nikki Cross, I thought it was a good match. And then nice to see Toxic Attraction getting the call up and being involved in this tag tournament, because I mentioned it looked like a bunch of women thrown together. Toxic Attractions have not been thrown together. They've been teaming for a whole year now. They've actually were former NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Two times. Thank you, Joey. So I'm happy that they got this opportunity. And yeah, it's going to be a new landscape for the tag team division in WWE, and I'm all for it.
But before Richie Buckets gives his, one thing I want to add on, Bob, is that even though, for instance, Cedric and Ali didn't have matching gear, they have such a similar flair and style. I think in terms of 205 Live, the two biggest baby faces that stuck out from that show were Cedric and Ali. And as far as heels, it was, I think, Buddy Murphy and, of course, Pac. And so
Tony Nese.
Tony Nese as well. I think he's really kind of been wasted for a long time, comparatively speaking. He does his role well, but teaming up those guys that don't have much to do in a tag team, I think is going to pay dividends. Richie Buckets, go ahead with a potential chef's kiss or response to ours.
No, your chef's kiss was impeccable. Mwah. Fine cuisine. So my chef's kiss is, from the G1. You know who won the G1?
Tell us, Weatherman.
I wonder who it is.
So if you have an opportunity to watch this absolute banger of a match, my boy, Kazuchika Okada, is a G1 winner. Did you hear that? Okada.
Okada!
Oh, it's drizzling here.
Okada! Rainmaker! My boy won the G1. Happy for him. He's also on paternity leave, so props to him and his wife for bringing in his newborn son into the world. So he's on paternity leave. We will see him in the near future, but great that he gets to have opportunity to be with his family. Happy for Okada winning the G1. And that is my chef's kiss. Go see this match between him and Will Ospreay. We're not going to call the baby Drizzle, Joey.
Had to do it.
I know you did, but that is my chef's kiss. Does anyone else have a chef's kiss before we go to a bone to pick?
Well, I was going to just add a few notes about the Punk promo. A couple of quotes that I guess would maybe qualify for me. Obviously, anytime you make fun of cowboy shit, I'm gonna say something about it. When he called Hangman coward shit for not coming out or not being a true champ, when he was spewing all that shit out.
Bone to pick.
No, not even. I thought it was fun. I like when they do shit like that, especially when it's against my own guys. I'm like, okay, that was pretty solid. You have to understand that. When he called Mox the third best guy in his group and said it's a reoccurring theme in his career, that was a pretty solid zinger. And he had a couple other callbacks to like WWE days. I think he said Eddie Kingston's the second or third best Kingston he's been in a
second best Kingston and the third best Eddie, which I know he's referring to Eddie Guerrero there, but I don't know what other Eddie he's referring to. Maybe Eddie Edwards. I'm not sure. But Kingston's obviously Kofi.
Yeah. And then before Mox had even entered the ring, when he started playing Wild Thing, he's like, oh, it's going to be a while. I'm just going to sit here and do Snow Angels in the ring like just a total asshole. He's doing Snow Angels, and then at the part in the song where it says groovy, he's like, groovy in the microphone. Like, I just thought that was some heel shit I liked. So chef's kiss for that. Punk doing the thing.
Hey, Joey, sorry, Chad. I just want to add the other Eddie, from what I heard, was Eddie Fatu, which for you guys who don't know, that's Umaga.
Excellent choice.
Yeah.